What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to Throwback Thursday. We are honoring Jamie Foxx, and in this movie, Ray, he embodied this role. Like, if there was ever an actor who was made for a role, it was giving Denzel Washington in Malcolm X. Like, he literally conveyed the essence of Ray Charles in the movie Ray. Outstanding job. And, he won all the awards and well deserved, right? So he won an Academy Award, he won an Oscar for Ray. He also won the Golden Globe that year, the BAFTA, the Screen Actors Guild, and the Critics' Choice Award. And Jamie Foxx deserves it. Not only is he a phenomenal actor, but he's a classically trained pianist. So if you guys know a little bit about Jamie Foxx's backstory, he was raised with his grandparents in Texas, and his grandmother went out of her way and sacrificed to make sure that, he had piano lessons, and he has such a keen ear for music. He has a sultry, velvety voice, and he really is a master of his craft, not only in music, but also with acting. And so you combine both of these, and he just radiated the energy of Ray Charles. So the movie Ray came out in 2004, and it's, a biographical film about the life of Ray Charles. 30 years it gives us of his life. And it was it was a phenomenal success because it grossed $124.7 million against a budget of merely 40 million. So not only was it a highlight of Jamie Foxx's career, which I believe it was the pinnacle, but also, it was a blockbuster, a box office blockbuster success. And unfortunately, even though Jamie and Ray, because Ray Charles handpicked Jamie Foxx to play him in this movie, Ray Charles passed away right before the movie premiere in June of 2004 of liver disease. So rest in peace, Ray Charles. So let's go ahead and get into the movie. So Ray Charles Robinson was raised in poverty by his mother, Aretha, and he learned to play piano at an early age. Obviously, Ray Charles and Jamie Foxx has a lot in common. But Ray was really haunted by the accidental death of his younger brother, George, who drowned in their mother's wash basin, which was horrific in the opening credits of the movie. And then Ray loses his vision by accident by age 7 and is completely blind. So his mother, Aretha, if you guys remember this scene, this young actor too, by the way, he really just acted down in this movie, okay? His name is CJ Sanders, and this role he played was just, he did an amazing job. But this is where he, loses his sight, and he's really, hysterical as anyone would be, especially being so young at age 7. And so his mom, she steps in and she gives him tough love, and she's like, she makes sure that he is independent, that he is strong, and that he can really convey his feelings and his talents and his gifts to the world through his music. Piano has 88 keys, no matter, that's one of the things I love about music. I really enjoy typing. I know that that's weird, but the things, they don't move. Like I've heard people who really enjoy math, which I don't, but they say that they enjoy math because the rules are so finite, they're not changing. And that's similar with a piano, piano keys or a keyboard on a typewriter. They don't move. And so you can find them whether you're blind or whether you are, you have your eyes closed. I can type with my eyes closed. And it just allows you to express yourself so many different ways. And Ray Charles was, of course, a musical genius. And so his mom not letting him succumb to despair with being blind. She really encouraged him to pursue his love of music. And she sends him to a school for the deaf and blind. So in 1946, Ray joins a white country band and he wears sunglasses to hide his damaged eyes. And then 2 years later after that, he travels to Seattle. He joins a nightclub band. And this club owner was just horribly abusive and, controlled his money and his career. And so after he finds out that he was being exploited, he signs his own record deal. He leaves the band and he starts touring on the Chitlin circuit. So if you guys are unfamiliar with that, and back in the day, Black folks, especially during Jim Crow, this is where a lot of plays and a lot of, juke joints opened up. Tyler Perry has based a lot of his work on the Chitlin circuit, and they would go to Black-owned establishments in the South because of segregation. So Ray is then discovered by Emmett Aragon of Atlantic Records, and he records his first hit, Mess Around. That's the title. And then in Houston, Ray falls in love with Della B. She's a preacher's daughter. And of course, her dad is not happy about that. And she and others are unhappy about Ray mixing gospel music and secular music. But, he marries Della and he continues his fame with I Got a Woman way over town. That's good to me. And then she becomes pregnant. She finds Ray's drug kit and she, confronts him about it. And then they reconcile after the birth of their first child. But then Ray begins an affair with singer Marianne Fisher. So in 1956, as Ray's popularity grows, he hires a trio to become the Raylettes and immediately falls for the head singer, Marjorie Hendricks. And they begin their own affair, and Marianne gets jealous and she leaves. So a few years after that, Ray's band finishes a set early, and the club's owner demands that they continue to play. So then Ray performs what I'd say on the spot, and his popularity goes through the roof in the 1950s. He moves his family to Los Angeles, but he continues to use heroin. So he had a really bad drug habit, and that strains his relationship with both Della and Margie. Ray was a trip back in his day. In 1960, he signs a much better deal and a contract with ABC Records, which he negotiates into own his own masters, which was brilliant at that time. He continues to experiment with music, writing hits such as Georgia on My Mind. And then Margie reveals that she's pregnant, and he cuts their affair when, Ray demands that she end the pregnancy. And then Ray ends up writing Hit the Road, Jack. And I remember listening to that song and hearing that song, even when I was a kid. Hit the Road, Jack is iconic, as well as Georgia on My Mind and so many of his songs. But Hit the Road, Jack is like international. And he writes that and has a solo with Margie, who uses her newfound recognition to embark on her own solo career. She goes solo, and Ray is still in the throes of his addiction. So, just imagine if, just a side note, because I know people battling with addiction it's a horrible, terrible disease, but he's such a a musical genius, and Jamie Foxx is the comedic genius. It's amazing the things that he could do even while battling a heroin addiction. So this is the Raylettes, and Kerry Washington, Regina King, and Denise Dowes play the Raylettes. Regina King is amazing, and so is Kerry Washington. They're phenomenal actresses in their own right. So in 1961, Ray encounters civil rights protesters outside his concert in Augusta, Georgia. Deciding not to play at a segregated venue, he cancels the concert and his band from playing in Georgia. after he allows black and white audience members to dance together on stage during a concert in Indianapolis. His hotel room is raided by the police and he's arrested for his heroin possession, which is made public to Della's dismay, but his record label has the charges dismissed. And then in St. Louis, Ray performs the country influenced I Can't Stop Loving You and is impressed by announcer Joe Adams, who joins his tour. Ray moves his family to Beverly Hills and he learns that Margie has died of an overdose. So Joe alienates Ray's band and his longtime friend and manager, Jeff Brown, whom Ray fires. In 1965, Ray returns from a concert in Montreal and is again arrested for heroin possession. And 1979, he permanently quits heroin, thank God, and receives an official apology from the state of Georgia, which names Georgia on My Mind as their official state song. So Ray goes on to have a very long, successful career as a world-famous entertainer until he passed away from liver disease in 2004. And again, like I said, he handpicked Jamie Foxx, and Jamie, of course, won so many accolades, well-deserved, on his role as Ray Charles. So please keep Jamie Foxx in your prayers. Let me know in the comments your thoughts, and I will talk with you later. Take care, Aces. Bye.